welcome to the Stevie Yarn Co. Knitting and Crochet podcast. My name is Maggie and I am the yarn dyer behind Stevie Yarn Co. And this is my space where I love to just chat all about what I am crafting, which usually includes knitting and crochet, sometimes cross stitch. Yeah, let's just get into it. I hope you have all been doing so great. We have finally made it to September, my favorite time of year. I know it's technically not autumn yet until the end of September, but in Maggie's world, once September 1st hits, it is officially fall. The leaves are already changing. The weather, the mornings have been so crisp and cool. The days have been nice. So with that being said, I just dove into my autumn projects and I can't wait to share them with you. I have a lot to chat about today. Last week, I managed to clear all of my projects that I had lingering. Minus like my crochet blankets, but I never count those because those are like long-term projects. But yeah, I managed to clear all of my sock needles, all of my other projects that I had sitting and lingering, and oh my gosh, it felt so good to clear them, to just create a new blank canvas. And it did not last long before I cast on a couple projects. Last weekend was Labor Day weekend, a nice long weekend. At the end of the week I had 0 whips, so I went into the long weekend free will to cast on whatever I wanted to, and I didn't cast on anything until like Monday, I think it was. I just kind of gave my hands a couple days to breathe, but I did cast on some new projects. I am trying to reel it in and not go absolutely crazy with 1,000 projects at once. But yeah, I can't wait to share. Today, I'm not drinking any tea today. I'm going with coffee in my cauldron mug, my Harry Potter cauldron mug. This is my second cup for today. It's been one of those mornings, not in a bad way, just felt like I needed a little extra boost, so this is my second cup. It is rainy out and cozy, and I am just ready to talk about autumn. So I hope you're ready too. I did finish my summer sock knitting. I had some socks that I was trying to get done last podcast episode, and I managed to finish them. So let's just dive into finished objects. So I'll start with my socks. I thought about kind of quickly going through all of my summer socks that I knit, but I already talked about all those in previous podcasts. So if you're really curious, you could always go back and watch those, but I'll just show you the ones that I was working on last episode but haven't finished, but now have finished. So these are my opal socks. I love these so much. I had one done and I had barely cast on the second one the last time we chat, and I love these so much. I love the colors. Opal sock yarn is just so fantastic. It's so rustic, and these are, I already wore these twice. In the mornings it gets really cold in my house, so I've been enjoying wearing those. I usually wear my knit socks like at least 4 times before I wash them, because wool yarn doesn't absorb like gross sweat the way that like cotton socks do. So yeah, I wear these a couple times before I give them a wash. Yeah, so I just did a vanilla sock for these. 64 stitches, 9-inch circulars, 2.25 millimeters. I just did a 2x2 cuff and an afterthought heel, and I just love them so much. I did buy some opal sock yarn a few months ago, I think it was, or maybe it was before summer sock knitting. I just had the itch. I just get the itch to cast on opal because I love the self pattern. The colors are so unique and I just love them. So I do have some other opal sock yarn that I hope to cast on eventually. let's see here. I do have another pair finished. I just need to put them on the blockers. And I finished my Star Wars socks. This is a Stevie yarn color that I dyed in May for May the 4th for Star Wars, and the colorway is called Rebellions Are Built on Hope. And yeah, I managed to finally finish. I finished one, I think, in May, and then let one, I didn't even cast the second one on until I think last month or something like that. So I got these finished. I used the contrast in black Barocco vintage black sock yarn, and I love them. Just as a pair of shorty socks, same formula as before, 64 stitches. I always cast on 64 stitches for myself, and depending on my mood, sometimes I'll do a 1x1 cuff, 2x2. I never make a super long cuff because I just don't feel like I need it. And then an afterthought heel, which is usually my go-to. I would like to adventure into maybe going back and trying a heel flapping gusset. That is my first few, like 2 pairs of socks that I knit. I did the heel flap and gusset and I absolutely hated it. But now that so much time has passed and I have learned a lot about sock knitting, I feel like I should go back and give it a try. But I also, is it the German short row heel? I can't remember, but there's definitely some other heels that I would like to try. But afterthought heel is my go-to. I enjoy the process of it. I think it's fun. I know a lot of people hate it because they hate cutting into their work, but that doesn't intimidate me. The first time I did it, I was like, oh my gosh, but once you do it, it's not bad. And I like the way it fits my heel. It fits great. So yeah, those are my second finished pair of socks. I have one more finished pair. And I'm really excited about these because these ones have been lingering quite some time. Great, so I finally finished my friend's pair of socks that she asked me to knit her. Here they are! Aren't these so much fun? So I think I started these in, oh my gosh, I really need to like keep track, but I don't remember. It might have been like March or April. She saw this yarn sitting on my shelf, and I told her that I would love to knit her pair of socks. Well, she asked me to, and I told her I would love to, and I let her pick from my stash, and she loved this color, the main color. This is One of a Kind, that's the name of the yarn, One of a Kind by Candy Corn Yarns, and it's so beautiful. I love the way the little micro stripes worked up. And then she chose the contrast colors. These were just random minis that I had in my stash that I dyed when I first started dyeing. So like this really fun yellow and this periwinkle blue purple. And then for the cuff, she chose the girly pop color that I had early on in my shop. It's no longer on the shop, but it's so bright. And I thought these were so fun, and I'm so happy to have them done. But I think I'm gonna hold on to them and give them to her for Christmas. I thought about just giving them to her so she can enjoy them for the cozy months, but I thought about starting maybe a box of socks for her for Christmas, because I did have her try the first one on and it fit her great and she was so excited. And she's a crocheter and she has crocheted socks before, but she had always mentioned that she doesn't like the way crochet socks feel. She said she can feel every stitch, and it felt more like a slipper than a sock. So when she tried these on, she loved them. So of course, like, if she's excited, I'm so excited. So yeah, I have some colors that I think I will start knitting up for her to make a box of socks for Christmas. So that will be a lot of fun. So those are all of the finished socks that I have. It felt so crazy to have 0 socks on the needles. It's been years, I think, since I've had 0 sock whips. So it felt really good. But of course I did cast on 2 pairs. But I'll talk about that. I have one more finished object. And you guys, I finished my one skein crescent shawl. It is not blocked yet. Finally, I have been working on this forever, it seems. The pattern is so great. It's so easy. It's such a mindless project. But sometimes with projects, once I lose like interest in them, it's hard for me to want to continue on. But I know like it's so worth it. I'm sure many of you can relate to that, because I've had this going since I think fall of last year, and I finally finished it. And this took 100 gram skein of fingering weight yarn. It is a super easy pattern. It was a paid for pattern. I think it was maybe like $3 US, and this is the 1 row crescent shawl. I do not remember the designer's name, but I'll share them. And yeah, I definitely need to block it. It's a short, I guess people consider these shawlettes, but I'm hoping that when I block it, I'm sure it will stretch out a little bit. But super cozy, I love it. I have been wearing my Wizard Treats mini skein shawl a lot lately in the mornings, and it's so cozy and I love it. So I'm so happy to have this one done, and I just love the color. This was a Madeline Tosh sock colorway in Pure Imagination. I don't know if you can find it on their website anymore, but I just love the pinks. I think it's so beautiful and I love it. I definitely need to block it, and I think it will turn out even more beautiful once I block it. I don't have any blocking mats, which always like deters me from blocking projects, but they're expensive. But I do need to invest in some of those eventually. Yeah, that's all the finished projects that I have. So let's talk about whips. I don't have an alarmingly amount, but definitely enough to talk about. So let's start with socks. I have 2 pairs going right now. I have become obsessed with baskets for my knitting lately. They're just so convenient to like put multiple projects in one. If you have a big project, I still love bags, especially if I'm like taking a project on the go, but for home, baskets are so cozy. You can get them so cheap at like Goodwill. So my sister got me this picnic basket forever ago, and I recently found it in my attic and thought it would be perfect for socks. So let me show you my first pair that I cast on. So I am doing a patterned sock. Can you guys believe that? I always do vanilla socks just because they're mindless and easy, but I had the itch. I bought a couple of K's from the Crazy Sock Lady. I bought a couple of her sock patterns over the last few years, but I never took the initiative to make them. And I did cast on a couple years ago. It was the morning coffee sock pattern, and for some reason I just, at that moment in time, I couldn't keep my mind focused, so I ripped the sock out and did not continue. But I had the itch to do pattern, and I did cast on the morning coffee socks by Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady. And this is cast on with our Autumn Embers colorway. This is our new autumn color in the shop. I feel like it's hard to see the texture on this sock. Maybe it will block out more. It's definitely textured and I love it. And the pattern is actually so simple. It's a 6-row repeat, and once you memorize it, it's actually very simple to remember. It definitely obviously requires more attention than just a vanilla sock, but I am quite enjoying this. So yeah, this is the Autumn Embers colorway. It's only available in our fingering weight soft sock base. It is available in the shop. I think currently right now, I think I have 1 skein left. Actually, yeah, I only have 1 skein left, but I will be dyeing up more. This is going to be a colorway that's available in the shop all of the autumn season because I love it so much. It's this very pretty yellowy, pumpkin-y color with some specks of brown and burgundy, and I love it so much. I just love autumn colors. If you've been here a while, most of you know I do love bright, colorful everything. But once the autumn season rolls around, I definitely shift into the autumn color palette and fully embrace it because it's so beautiful. So yeah, I am knitting the size medium, 64 cast on. I'm using 9-inch circulars on 2.25 millimeter. And look at this super cute little acorn stitch marker. Isn't it so cute? Hopefully it's catching. But yeah, so it is really fun to have a sock that keeps my mind busy and focused. So I am quite enjoying this. I did do a 1x1 rib for the cuff too. So yeah, I'm really enjoying these. Those are a lot of fun. I did cast on a second sock, and you have seen this colorway before. I had a friend ask me to knit her a pair of socks on the Campfire Skies colorway, which was a summer sock palooza colorway that I had over the summer. It's no longer in the shop. And so I am just making her a pair of vanilla socks, and this is what I got so far. And it's very interesting to me how the yarn is working up. It seems to be pulling very differently than when I knit my socks, because I knit myself a pair, and I don't know how I feel about it. I don't think she's going to care. I mean, it still looks pretty, but I think because I already knit them once and it looks different, I should have brought my socks down for comparison. But anyways, I still think they're beautiful. Yeah, so this is our Campfire Skies colorway with the burnt orange mini skein. So that's how, you see how it's pulling there? I even cut the yarn and like tried to mix it up, but I think they're still gonna be beautiful, and I don't think she's gonna care. The ones that I knit were very almost stripey looking, where this is like pulling, heavy pulling in certain areas. And like, if I was knitting these for myself, I wouldn't care. I don't care about pulling. I think that's what is so unique about hand dyed. But I hope she doesn't mind. But I might send her a picture and see what she thinks. Because you can tell like the blues, especially this right here, there's like a big chunk of blue, and then like the white and yellow area, or orange areas. Yeah, and I'm sure she probably won't mind. And then I have my little witch boot stitch marker for these. So cute. I don't know if I said I cast on 72 stitches for these, and yeah, I'm just gonna do a vanilla sock. So it is nice to have vanilla on the needles as well. So right now I only have 2 socks, and I think I'm gonna keep it that way, at least try to, because I know I talked about last time how having so many projects at once has become overwhelming to me, where in the past I used to like love it and really enjoy it, but this era of my life, it overwhelms me having way too many projects on the needles. So I only have 2 socks, and someone did comment on one of my previous videos about always having like a pattern sock and a vanilla sock going, and maybe that's what I'll start doing. I do enjoy having the pattern for when I'm kind of in the mood for something that like requires my attention and can like keep my mind busy. But I always love having vanilla for when I want the opposite and I don't want to think about, and I can just knit, mindless knitting. So yeah, 2 sock whips. I have only one more knitting whip. And I decided to cast on another Cozy Comfort sweater by Darling J'adore. I knit one, I just finished one in spring of this year, and it took me a while to knit it because that was my first ever knit sweater. I've only ever crocheted sweaters for like the last like 15 years, and it was my first knit sweater, and I enjoyed it. It just took me forever. But I had this yarn that I started crocheting like 2 years ago, like an autumn cardigan, and I didn't like it, but I love the yarn, so I decided to use it to cast on another cozy comfort sweater, and that's just what I did. And I just finished the collar for the sweater, and the yarn that I'm using is the Lion brand Skein Tones, and it is the color Adobe. Yeah, Adobe. It's this really beautiful rusty orange color, and I love it so much. So I think this will be perfect autumn sweater, and now that I've already knit it once and actually really enjoyed the process, I think this one will probably go quicker, especially if I'm limiting how many projects I have going. I can actually focus on this one, and it's worsted weight yarn, so that also goes quickly. I definitely recommend this pattern. If you've never knit a sweater before, this one was very easy to follow. There's so many detailed instructions and videos. It is a paid for pattern on Etsy. But yeah, I enjoyed it so much that I definitely wanted to make another one. So this is my little coffee stitch marker. Isn't it so precious? I love it. So yeah, this sweater will definitely require some attention, especially during, because I'm gonna have to increase the raglan part, and then once I get to the body, that will be so mindless. But I need to one of these nights sit down and get through the increases of the top part of the sweater. But I'm really excited because I love this yarn so much, and the cardigan that I was crocheting, I finished a whole back panel and I just was not feeling it. I don't know, I just pictured like a big cozy oversized sweater instead of a cardigan, so I frogged it and cast on the sweater. So I'm really excited about that knitting project. I'm just eating up all of the cozy autumn deep tones. All right. Oh wait, I almost forgot. I almost forgot about this. I was working on a moss stitch square blanket out of using all of my sock yarn scraps, and I pulled a bunch of like my bright color sock yarn and started that blanket, and I got a lot work done on it, but I was really craving autumn dark muted colors. So with that being said, I put that one away for the season and started a autumn muted tone color one. So I just picked out all of my dark color yarn scraps that I have, and yeah, so this is what I have so far. Isn't it beautiful? So I'm holding 2 strands of sock yarn together held double, and I'm using the moss stitch square pattern. I found this on YouTube, so I can share that with you. It is so simple, so mindless, and like once you get going, it's very addicting and hard to stop going. But I am just loving these colors so much. Like I said, I'm using scrap yarn. This was I don't know if this was opal or razzia sock yarn, but I made a pair of socks with this, and then I have this green yarn. I don't even remember where this came from, but it's perfect, and held double makes this beautiful marled look to it, and I'm obsessed. And I have my little black kitty stitch marker. Yeah, so the hook size I'm using for this is a 3.5 millimeter. This is a very addicting pattern project, and I feel like I want to work on this later because I'm just loving the way the colors are looking up. Oh, it's going to be so beautiful. I don't intend on finishing this like at the end of autumn or anything. This is going to be an ongoing project. I don't even think I have enough yarn to like finish a whole blanket. This is all I have. I don't even know if you can see that. I have quite a bit in there, but not a ton. But we'll see how far I get. Blankets have been a lot of fun to just, if it's something I want to work on when I'm in the mood and it's always there, and when I finish it, I finish it. There's no rush. So yeah, I forgot I did start that too. So as far as yarn goes, that's all the projects I have. But I did start a cross stitch project. So this is the Strawberry Field Mouse cross stitch pattern, and I'll share it up here and let me show you what I have done so far. So that's what I have done. I have the little strawberry area done. This has been very addicting to work on. This is a paid for pattern on Etsy, but I was just in the mood for cross stitch, and I really am trying to curate handmade pieces to put all around my house, because I do have a lot already, but I felt like I needed some more. So I have this wooden corner shelf that my grandfather had built, and there's 4 shelves on it, and it's so cute, and I thought this cross stitch would be cute to put on there. So I would love to fill that shelf with just a bunch of handmade things. So that's my goal. So yeah, I'm currently working on that. It's a lot of fun. I also have picked up my English paper piecing. I have everything tangled here because I have my cross stitch and my English paper piecing just thrown in this basket. But anyway, I had the itch to do some English paper piecing, and I have a ton of fabric. Before Joann's closed, in their checkout line, they had these tiny little squares of fabric, like a stack of them for $1. So I bought like a whole bunch, and I decided I just wanted to put together a bunch of different like hexagon colors and make myself my coffee table a placemat for my coffee table using just all of the fabric. I love the look of like stuff like this, like just a bunch of patterns and colors together. I think it looks so pretty. So yeah, I've been working on that a little bit. I love this color palette. I'm trying to, so I put together, how many is here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hexagons in one piece. So I curated all of like the colors together for this one, and then I picked 7 other colors for another piece, and then I'll connect them all to make one table runner, and I think that will just look so cute. I don't think it's necessarily a seasonal thing. I think it will be something that I'll have like on my table like summer, like spring and summer months. But I love English paper piecing. I think it's such a slow down craft, especially because you're hand sewing. I am not an expert at hand sewing, and it's definitely sloppy, but I also love the way that like the stitches look quilted together. I think it's so much fun, and you can find so many beautiful fabrics, and I couldn't believe I found those stacks of fabric for $1 at Joann's. This was even before they were supposed to be closing. They just like had all these little tiny squares, and that is like the perfect amount for English paper piecing. If it's something you've been thinking of trying, I definitely recommend. I bought a kit on Amazon. It's a little plastic kit, and it comes with the paper templates, needles, a spool of thread, little scissors, glue so you can glue the fabric on, and so I can share that below. And it was perfect. I also found a kit on Etsy that someone curated pieces of fabric already cut. All you had to do was glue them onto the paper. So that was also a lot of fun. So I can share both of those. It's definitely a fun craft. If you're itching for something new, I definitely suggest it. I think it's a cheap craft. I think you can make so many things with it. And there's different patterns too. Like, you don't have to just use the hexagon templates. There's like so many other ones that you could use. But yeah, so I've definitely been feeling creative, wanting to just work on a variety of projects, keep my knitting and crochet projects a little condensed so it's not so overwhelming. But yeah, it's nice when I'm like not in the mood to knit and I can pick up my cross stitch, or I can pick up the English paper piecing. So that's been a lot of fun. There are definitely some autumn cross stitches that I would love to make. I feel like I have bought so many cross stitch patterns over the years and have barely touched any of them. Cross stitch takes a while. Also, if you've been thinking of trying cross stitch, that is also such a fun, easy craft. All you're doing is making little X's, and it's a cheap craft. Floss is extremely cheap. The Aida cloth is decently priced. You can find kits on Amazon. Hoops are relatively cheap too. So if you've been thinking about cross stitching, that is also a very fun craft to do. I wanted next to share about some yarn that I have in the shop. So let me show you. So you already saw this one in a cake and worked up already, but this is our Autumn Embers colorway. I love this color so much. It just screams autumn to me. It has like all the perfect tones. I love the burgundies, the orange, the hue of like the golden yellow in there too. I just love it. So I have one skein left in the shop, but I will be doing a restock of this because this is such a perfect autumn color to have in the shop for the entire season. So that will be back available on the shop. So I also have this color. This is Autumn at the Castle Grounds, and this is inspired by Autumn at Hogwarts. I had dyed up a winter at the Castle Grounds, and it was a gray with pine green, flecks of gold, and white. It was very beautiful, and I wanted the same thing, but autumn inspired. So yeah, you have these beautiful gray with some pops of orangey yellow, and then there's some specks of like an olive color in there with some green. And yeah, I quite love this color. So the Autumn Embers colorway is available in our soft sock base, which is just a more plumpy, softer sock yarn. This color I dyed up on, I've been calling it like a rustic base, but it's not, it's just not as soft as the soft sock base that I used. I was testing out different mills, and I ordered a whole bunch of yarn on this base. This was their sock base, and it's just not, like, it's nice, but it's just not as soft and squishy as our other base that we carry. But I think it would still make beautiful socks. My intention was I dyed this up for a shawl pattern, the one skein crescent shawl. So I will probably cast this on for another shawl eventually, but probably not till I finish some of these projects first. But I do love this color so much. Yeah, so there's quite a bit available on the shop for this. This will be up all through autumn season as well. I just want to disclaim, since I am a small batch dyer, I mostly only carry fingering weight yarns. Eventually I would like to add like DK and worsted and maybe some mohair in the future. I would love to be able to carry all bases, but right now I usually only carry fingering weight. Occasionally I will add some skeins of DK and very rarely some skeins of worsted. But most of the time I only carry fingering weight. So that's what those bases are available in. And then the next color that we have on the shop, and this one is one of my favorites. This is our K-pop Demon Hunter inspired colorway, and this is called Soda Pop, inspired by the song Soda Pop in the movie. I am obsessed with that movie. It is so good. The soundtrack is perfect. And I wanted to dye up an entire collection, but I just stuck with one because there's so many other colors that I want to put out there right now. But Soda Pop is so fun. It's so colorful, so bright, and it comes with a 100-gram full skein and a 20-gram mini of this beautiful like aqua color. So yeah, I definitely think I will be casting these on for my friend that I just talked about, making her a box of socks. She also loves K-pop Demon Hunter, and when she saw this yarn, she loved it, and I think she would love these. So yeah, that probably won't be for a while. But so that's the colors that I have available in the shop right now. I'm very much looking forward to October for some Halloween inspired yarns, of course. I just had one last thing I wanted to chat about, and that was the Palestine raffle that my friends and I have going on right now. We have curated a free Palestine raffle, and we each handmade an item to put into the basket. Tickets are $10 and for one ticket. And yeah, let me just show you up close all of the products that I have. I think I briefly showed you maybe last time, but I'll start with the yarn. I have dyed up a couple skeins of worsted weight yarn, and I'll have one skein of worsted available in the raffle, and this is the free Palestine colorway. This is 100% merino wool. So I'll have one skein of yarn available in the raffle basket. I did put a couple other skeins on the shop available for purchase, and 100% of those proceeds from the yarn will go directly to Palestinian families in need. So anyways, I'll have one skein of this yarn in the raffle basket. We have two felted pieces, hand felted pieces. These were created by my sister. She is an incredible needle felter. She makes insane pieces. And you can find her on Instagram at Stabbings by Sam. And she created these two little Palestine keychains, the little watermelon and the peace sign. Aren't they so cute? Adorable. So she hand felted those, which will also be available. She has them packaged up so perfectly, and I'm trying not to mess it up, but I really wanted to show those off. So yeah, that will also be in there. I have another piece here created by my friend Erica. This is a hand crafted olive tree sun catcher, and it's beautiful. Like, she handcrafted this. She is also an incredible artist. She creates jewelry, stunning pieces. You can follow her on Instagram as well at Erica Blair Jewelry. Stunning. I love this piece so much. So that will be available. Next, we have a gift certificate for a free Reiki session with one of my dear friends, Kayla. You can find her at Ray Kitty on Instagram. She provides Reiki sessions, and she's just wonderful. She's a very spiritual, warm, kind, incredible human, and I definitely suggest you go check out her Instagram. But she provided one free Reiki session. And the next piece I have here is a pair of earrings, hand sewn and engraved by Katie from Fireweed and Free. You can find her on Instagram at Fireweed and Free. She is a jewelry maker. Actually, I call her a jewelry poet because her pieces are amazing. Actually, I have a pair of earrings on from her right now. You can't see, it's probably too far away. But she's an incredible jewelry artist. And yeah, so these will be available in the raffle as well. And I do have another piece that I have not picked up from my other friend, but she also is an incredible fiber artist. She knits, she crochets, she does hand felting, and she created this incredible hand felted poppy flower. And I'll just put a picture up here now so you can see our little video. Incredible detail. So that will also be in the raffle, and I just feel grateful to be surrounded by other people that care deeply about the world around them. So yeah, tickets are $10 for an entry. If you are interested, you can go to my Instagram. I have my Venmo linked on my Instagram bio, and 100% of the proceeds from this raffle will go directly to Palestinian families in need. One piece that I forgot to show you was the Palestinian, the Palestine flag wall tapestry that I had crocheted, and I was working on it. Last podcast I had shown you, and I finished it, but I don't have it with me, but I can share here. So that will also be in the basket. So if that's something you're available in, go check out my Instagram for more details. And yeah, that's what I have going on. I hope you have all been doing so great, and I hope you enjoyed your summer. I definitely enjoyed my summer, but I am, as always, looking forward to the cozy months, the Burr months. They're just the best. So I hope to catch up with you guys again soon. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.